Said I'm about to make history. Said I'm about to make history. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Market Mass coming to y'all with another episode of Black History. Yeah, man, I hope y'all are doing safe out there, man. Y'all already know what times we in right now. I told y'all I was gonna keep on coming at y'all with these, man. Like, I'm not playing around with this educational stuff, man. You gotta be feeding your kids' brains, especially right now. We have no idea what's going on with this whole situation. We don't know when they're gonna open the schools back up. I think that's the main thing I've been thinking about is like, how are they gonna go about opening these schools back up? Because you know, kids outside of the old people and you know, people with the already underlying conditions, you know, with the whole virus thing, you know, kids are like the most vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? So how are you gonna establish a social distancing situation when it comes to kids in the school like that? I really don't understand how they're gonna do that until they come up with the vaccination situations and all that. So it's really crazy right now, man. But y'all already know, even before this, like, they was trying to X out Black history from the curriculum just in general. That was just in general. So, especially right now, it's, like, so important for your kids to begin their education. Now, I know, like, a lot of parents right now are getting, you know, it can get overwhelming, you know. Like, some of y'all have been laid off. And it's a combination of getting laid off and, you know, having the kids home, like, basically 24/7, you know, like, it's, you know, it can get tough. I understand it can get tough, so that's what I'm here for, to help y'all out, you know what I'm saying? When your kids aggravating you, send them over to YouTube, send them to my channel. What we gonna get into today is Marcus Garvey, the great Marcus Garvey, man. We're keeping on with this theme of the strong Black political leaders that they tried to X out of history. And let's get right into it. Now, Marcus Garvey Jr. was born on August 17th, 1887. He was the youngest of 11 children, and as a youngin', he developed a keen interest in books through his father, and he made full use of the extensive family library that they had. In 1903, he traveled to the capital city of Kingston and involved himself in union work. Embracing unionizing and activism after a failed printer strike, in 1910 he went on to work in Central America as a newspaper editor focused on the trials of migrant plantation workers. He then arrived in London enrolling at Birkbeck College, which is now called the University of London, where he worked for the African Times and the Orient View during this period, which focused on Black nationalism. He returned to Jamaica in 1914 and he founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association, or the UNIA. In 1916, he moved to Harlem, New York, where the UNIA thrived. By now, he had become a formidable public speaker, and he started speaking all over the country in America. He urged African Americans to be proud of their race and to return to Africa, which was their ancestral homeland, and attracted thousands of supporters. Now, in order to facilitate this return to Africa that he was advocating, he founded the Black Star Line in 1919, which would provide transportation to Africa for Black people. Unsuccessfully tried to persuade the government of Liberia in West Africa to grant land on which Black people from America could settle. He also founded the Negro Factories Corporation to encourage Black economic independence. Garvey's message of self-reliance and economic independence appealed to many in America who were fed up with the overall racism and discrimination that defines segregation and just the overall hypocrisy of America. Garvey felt like Blacks would only be respected if they were economically strong, and he preached Black independence within the framework of white capitalism. He reached the height of his power in 1920 when he presided at an international convention in Liberty Hall with delegates present from 25 countries. The affair was climaxed by a parade of 50,000 people through the streets of Harlem, led by Garvey in flamboyant array. The UNIA had more than 5 million members in 40 countries by 1921. In 1922, Garvey was arrested for mail fraud in connection with the sale of stock in the Black Star Line. Although there were irregularities connected to the business, the prosecution was most likely politically motivated. Garvey was sent to prison and later deported to Jamaica. In 1935, he moved permanently to London, where he died on June 10, 1940. In 1964, his body was returned to Jamaica, where he was declared the country's first national hero. Although he amassed critics during his time, Garvey's work influenced other nationalist movements such as the Nation of Islam and the Rastafari movement. And that's gonna do it for this episode of Black History Year. I really hope y'all enjoyed this. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. That's really, really important. I really need y'all to do that. And I really appreciate you guys' support, man. And like I said, stay safe, stay blessed, stay educated. And we out, man.
Future looking like the sun when you look in the sun. Lesson for beginners. Get checked before you enter in the building with